this is what I'm calling the shadow episode. I am streaming to Twitch, but I didn't tell anybody. So if anyone shows up, I don't even know. I'm just doing this real quick. Maybe an hour. I really have to watch the time because my stories come on at 8 o'clock. Used to be on USA Network, but now it's on Netflix at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's my stories. I gotta watch them. Okay, I have a plan. I have a list of things that we need to get done that didn't get done in the last episodes. And we're gonna go straight to it. And Yep. Okay, how many do we have here? What's that? 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 16, 24. Okay, so we have 2 of those. What do we need to make rockets? Rockets don't get made there. Alright. We're just going frickin' ham on this. Pin it. Okay, oh man. We need... iridium. We need a lot of iridium. I don't know how much that made, but okay. So that's good. That's good. That's fine. Wait, do we have any iridium rods in here? Oh my god, yeah, okay. So alright. Wait, no, we need to make rockets. Derp. I forgot what we were doing. Uh-oh. You, sir, I need all of your uranium. I need all of your uranium. Toot sweet. Post haste. Man. Okay. I think we'll be good. Oh, 2 more. So, I hate that we have to wait a little bit because I wanted to come in and just do it. But we have to wait. We need to make rockets. We shouldn't have sold the ones we did in the last episode. I wasn't thinking. As I was editing, I was like, that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. Okay, so let's leave uranium in here for right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That many? Oh, rockets go over here. I don't even know how many that was. 12? Yep. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I don't remember if it's going to be silicon or... Okay, silicon is for pressure. Okay, silicon for pressure, cobalt for heat. So let's do silicon first. Then we'll do the same thing with cobalt. But first, let's look at this. Wait, 5, 6, and 6. Okay. Okay, let's do it again immediately with cobalt. Basically, we're going to be screwing up the sky. Okay, what's next? Plants. Let's pin this one. Whoop. Alright, I need to do this. Nope, not that. Unpin that one. Let's take care of ourselves. Water, food. Okay, rockets. Okay, we need to make more rockets. Okay. We're going to be blowing through a lot of super alloy in this. Okay. Larma, it looks like, which I hope we have. Been ignoring it. Whew, we have exactly that many Larma. Okay. have 17 lerma seeds. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the rest iridium rods, if we have them. Yeah, we do. Okay, so what's next? So far we've done 6, 6, and 6. Seed spreaders. Okay, let's do this. Unpin. Pin. I think we can do that. We're gonna have to call down some super alloy at some point. Bacteria sample, mutagen, T1, perfect. Tree bark. Okay. Okay, what's next? Insect. Oh, this one might be a tough one. My goal, or what I realized was I only got the uranium and iridium rockets just because I needed it. I didn't do it for the terraformation. The multiplying. I just did it for, yeah. Okay, so this might be the last. Oh, it's not the last batch we can do. We're gonna have to wait for this guy to get back. $155 seconds. I want to hang out up here just for the time being and figure out where these things are landing. I mean, if they're landing in the same spots as they did last time, I'm going to find a lot of them over there. Yeah, a lot of them are going over there. We haven't even broke out of the iridium yet. So I think it's 5 asteroids per rocket. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of cleanup to do. We got 45 minutes to do it. Might as well start now. Yeah, there's gonna be a whole bunch down this valley. And in here. Hope my animals are okay. There's some, I see it. That was red. All right. I was playing one night. I was playing Humble, and I was talking about how like there wasn't any iridium iridium fields or uranium fields or anything like that. And the girl I was talking to, Angel Blue Games, amazing person, twitch.tv/Angel Blue Games. One thing she said to me, and it stuck with me. She said that she'd already completed it, and I was like, well, how'd you do it? How'd you get all your uranium and iridium? And she said exactly this. I sent up an ungodly amount of rockets. And I was like, well, being how I am literally the best Planet Crafter player in the entire world, I had to, emulate what she had done, of course. And it worked. Oh. Inventory full. Oh, here comes the greenies. Alright. So iridium's done. We're gonna go straight to the rods. That's what she said. Excuse me. Alright, let's go pick up more. I know there's way more out there. If we get hit, we get hit. Alright? And I realized also yesterday, you can have, or earlier today, while I was editing, you can have as many multipliers as you want. But they're not going to do much. Like these guys, they're not going to do a whole lot because you don't have those 1000% multipliers up in the air. And I just created, so there was already 6. I just created 6 more. So there's 12,000 multipliers up in the air. Now it'll work and you could do it. It's just going to take a while. But once we get to the computer and look at our screen, we'll see that our heat has gone up exponentially. Okay, I know there's more iridium. We only have a finite amount of spots left. Any one of them hit down here? I don't see any shinies. There's a bunch right here. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Oh wow, there's a lot up here. Does that say inventory full? Yes. Okay. Well, we didn't even make it back to the domes. And yesterday, okay, get this. Yesterday when I was playing, I came up here, and the shadow of this, I saw it right there, right? But as I was going back, there was a shadow over there, that right there, plus that, plus that. As I was going back out of the corner of my eye, because I'm not even looking at it, right? I'm going this way like that, and then boom, like that. But just in that slow motion of me doing that, it looked to me like there was someone walking, like someone just traipsing along, like, walking like right here, but up on this plane, like if they were walking through this. And it tripped me out because I thought I was hallucinating. I wasn't hallucinating. Like, it freaked me out. And I was like, I need to go to bed. I need to take a nap right now. What it was is my eyes playing tricks on me because... Okay, I know I went through it in the last video, but I was sleep deprived. Like, massively sleep deprived. It's been extremely hot where I live, and I had just talked about, like, sweating so much that it was making a pool of sweat around by my feet while I was working. So dehydration, sleep deprivation, the fact that I am getting old. One thing I didn't mention is I went to the eye doctor, a couple years ago, and they told me that I have the start of cataract in both my eyes. I'm not really a fan of that. So now that was 3 years ago-ish. Okay, I saw some down here. There, on the ground. Okay, I'm not going to try to get that one, because if I take that thing up, it's going to wreck the whole thing. Well, no, I think I could. There. Okay. Now we can go back over here. Yeah. So it was just my mind playing tricks on me. I was tired. I had been staring at the computer screen for like 4 hours. You know, minimal sleep. I was probably hungry. Just the corner of my eye just saw that shadow. I mean, if you guys watch me play and you know that I play, I see faces in everything. Like all these landscapes, I see faces in all of them. So I don't know. There's a lot of reds down there. Hydration level critical. All right. We'll make as many as we can with this batch. Get some agua. I think that's it for... Is that it? No, that's more coming down. All right. Never mind. I have a beard hair keep getting stuck, like weaving itself into my microphone cover. Like one single beard hair. Okay, whew, these are all gone now. Hell yeah. None in that butt crack. Any in this butt crack. I think that's it. Okay. I see a dog. Whoa! Whoa! That was close. Damn, Chris Punk, that's what you get for being outside in a meteor shower. Why don't you go take a real shower? People say you stink. I actually get people saying, Krusty Punk, you don't look like a Krusty Punk. Yeah, well, that's what being off the streets and taking care of yourself does to you. I mean, look at the kid from Days and Days, man. He's doing great right now. Okay. There's probably some reds down here. Yes, there is. Oh, inventory full. Yeah, the kid from Days to Days, you know, he was worse off than I was. And he had help from a very high place. And that was amazing. Okay. Let's try to round up the rest of that iridium down here, and then we'll go on the hunt for the uranium. I mean, there's got to be like a ton of it in these cracks. At very least, enough to make one more rod. Yes, right there. Now, when I was in my heyday back in the 90s, you know, hopping trains and doing all that fun stuff, going to shows, and like I've seen Dystopia several times in Oakland and Seattle, and it's a place called The Smell in Los Angeles. I think that place finally shut down. You know, the living room and the pickle patch, both in Santa Barbara. Laser tag in Ventura, California. You know, I thought I had no hope, and I thought I was going to die there on the streets. I had no hope at all. And what took me off the streets was I had a friend. His name was Steve. He found me in a park, and I was like dying of pneumonia. I could barely keep my head up. I was laying down. He recognized me. He was at work, and he recognized me on his lunch break, came up, talked to me, and he's like, dude, I'm going to go get you some food, and I want you to stay right here. I get off work in like 3 hours, and I'm taking you home. So he took me home. Next day or two, I didn't get any better. So he's like, here's some bus money and go to the hospital. All right. I go to the hospital, and he comes. I come back to where he's letting me stay. He goes, all right. They give you medication? I said, yes. How much is it? And I said, I don't know. And he goes, all right, here's some money for the medication. So I went and took the medication. After I got better, he goes, all right, you got 30 days to get a job. Here's some money for some clothes. And I'm like, shit. All right. And he told me specifically, no band shirts, no Dickies, no Carhartts, no this, no that, no boots. You get work clothes. And I'm like, okay. Put minutes on your phone so you can get a call back for a job. Well, I ended up getting a job. And then once I got the job, he goes, all right, you've been here for 6 months? I go, yeah. And he goes, you got some money saved up, yeah? And I'm like, sure. He goes, get the fuck out of my house. He didn't say that in a mean way. He said it as in a, there you go. I gave you what you needed. And what I needed was a little help. And I love that man till the day I die because of that. If it wasn't for him doing that to me back in 2004, 2005. Yeah, 2005. If he hadn't done that in 2005, I'd probably still be on the streets, or I'd be in jail, or I'd be dead. So I owe that man my life. And I've been off the streets for a little, let's say plus minus 20 years. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, I miss it. I miss the freedom of like just being able to go, and you know, no cell phone bill, no electric bill. You're constantly hanging out with your friends. You're doing fun stuff. You're drinking like, you know, no one else's business, and you have zero responsibilities, and if you fuck up, you could just leave and start over somewhere else, you know. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I have Jay. Jay's my best friend. You know, I've got a pretty good job. I was able to get sober 6 years ago. And get my license back after not having it for 20 years. Okay. How many clicks over is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. When I moved here, I'm not going to say where here is. Some of you might know, but keep it to yourself, please. I'm on East Coast right now. I was born and raised West Coast. All my stomping grounds and all that was all West Coast. You know what? I'm going to smoke a cigarette while I talk about this. When I moved here, I came here with a backpack, a duffel bag, and a skateboard. And that's it. Started a whole new life. I even kind of like, I don't want to say that I turned my back on who I was, you know, the punk rock scene and all that. There just wasn't anybody here. There was literally, I would see like maybe 2 or 3 travelers, and I'd go talk to them every time I see them, and you know, I'd buy them socks or food or whatever. You know, if they said they wanted a beer, I'd buy them a beer, but I would never give them money, because I know the tricks. You know, you say, hey, just want a beer, but you go out and get crack or heroin or whatever. So, you know, I don't want to say I turned my back. Maybe I lost touch with it. So I lost everything. I had to leave everything behind when I came out here, except for my skateboard and my duffel bag and my backpack. So it took me several years to like really find myself, like rediscover who I am, you know. And when I got up on Twitch, I didn't know what to call myself other than Krusty Punk, which that's what I was, you know. And but people say like, oh, Krusty Punk, you don't even look like Krusty Punk. Round back, that's what plus minus 20 years of being off the streets and 6 years of being clean and sober do to you. You might not look like it, but I've got a crate full of records proving. I've got arms full of tattoos proving. I'm missing teeth proving that I am that. I was that. Now, if I were to, in the line of work that I'm in right now, I'm a mechanic. If I were to skip showers, even like 3 days, I would be crusty. And here, the humidity here, no one would want to be around me. That would stink so fucking bad. Plus, you know, I'm almost 50 years old. I think it's time to hang part of who I am up. But I'm never going to get rid of my records ever again, because it cost me a lot of money to get them back. Now, I didn't get all the records back. Luckily, I was able to go drive 2 hours northeast to a record store. And I, in one sale, beat that guy's sales for the entire week. That's how many records I bought. I spent almost $2,000 in that store. And yeah, I was happy. I was literally like a kid, a small child, sitting cross-legged on the floor, flipping through boxes and crates. And like every time I'd bring a stack of records up, the girl's like, "Are you ready yet?" And the guy, he would like put his hand out and be like he knew that I was getting my life back. He knew. And at the end, he gave me 2 free shirts. The girl that went with me, she got a free shirt. I got a record bag. He gave me like 4 records for free. It was just an awesome experience. And without saying where I am, I wish I could give a huge shout out to that record store, that owner. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but you know, that gave me a huge part of who I was back. That was amazing. And after I got sober, I'm like, well, just sitting here doing what I'm doing. Like, you know, I've been on Twitch for a long time, and, you know, I've had videos up on YouTube for several years. You know, if you go back to my older videos, you can see, like, they're old videos, like, the old aspect ratio from way back when. I was sitting here like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not spending my money on this beer or whatever I was doing, you know, liquor, beer, go to the bar and rack up like a $250 bar tab in one night, you know, 3-day hangovers and shit. So I had a little bit of money saved up, so I started like, well, I'm not trying to brag, but I had a little bit of money saved up, and I started like remembering the times, the good times before, you know, living on the streets, living in the abandoned van when I was in high school, begging for money, and like, you know, all the dumb shit, you know, the shit got bad. Basically when I was a kid. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan, always have been, ever since I was a kid. You know, saw the movies in the theaters back then. The story goes that I was a baby in a car seat while my mom and uncle went to go see Star Wars in the theater, which we all know now is A New Hope. And I remember seeing Empire in the drive-in theater with my grandma, and Jedi I saw in the theater with my grandma. So I started recollecting my Star Wars action figures that I had when I was a kid. I'm 3 shy away of a complete collection. Now I could get them online, but you know, I would rather, there's no fun in buying it online because you're just sitting there like click, 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 click. But if you go to flea markets and you know, specialty stores and comic book shops and stuff like that, and finding the ones that you don't have, finding the ones that you've been looking for in the wild, you get that, you know, thrill of the hunt type of situation going on. And that's what I did. And then when I was done, I hit the apex. Now there is a guy here in my town who has the 3. He has the 3 that I need. And if I buy those, I'm like, well, what next? So then I started recollecting Garbage Pail Kids. Those I bought online. I would buy big lots of Garbage Pail Kids online and sift through them and put them in binders like I did when I was a kid. And all the ones that I had spares of. And when I say I bought a lot, I bought thousands of them. And I'd make sure that, you know, when I purchased them, they were only let's do this. Wait. Uh-oh, there's going to be a big old hole here now. Well, let's put this one back at least. And all my extras, I sold them on Etsy. There we go. Looks like we got 2 missing. Iron. That's alright, we'll pick some up somewhere. So I started basically recollecting my childhood. Like, all the times that, you know, I'd go back to when shit wasn't fucked up. You know, before the drugs, before the alcohol, before the homelessness and all that. You know, my next step is getting back on a skateboard. But, you know, I'm old and I'm hurting pretty bad these days. So if I fall on a skateboard, if a tire machine's recoil can break my wrist, which it did a couple years back, yeah, I broke my wrist at work. Recoil of a tire machine just kicked back and got me. Imagine if I fell skateboarding. You know, I'd be out of work and I would lose everything. So that's that. I was never a huge wrestling fan. When I was younger, I could take it or leave it. But I do remember those times that I was hanging out with my friends in my late teens and 20s, and they were so stoked about it, you know, and I would, you know, watch it with them and get stoked on it. And then I refound, what's that? Oh, I refound wrestling a couple years ago. So it's something that takes me away from right now. You know, I know it's fake. I know it's fake. The characters are fun. You know, my favorite wrestler is Nikki Cross. Oh, my headphones are flashing. My favorite wrestler is Nikki Cross. And I like her because she's little, she's Scottish, she's mean, she's crazy, you know. All the good things. And one thing that I really, really respect about her is she doesn't fall into the norm of all the other female wrestlers. And don't get me wrong, they're good. They're good at what they do. But she doesn't have her butt cheeks hanging out. She doesn't have a mile of cleavage hanging out. She doesn't wear a gallon of makeup. She doesn't have like miles of fake hair. You know, she's her. What you see is what you get. Just a little, as they call her, a little bundle of terror. So that's who I am. Why do I call myself Krusty Punk? Because that's who I used to be. It's who I still am, kind of, you know. I saw a man yesterday eating out of a dumpster. Like, literally. I thought I was, you know, I was coming home from something. Can't remember what I went to Walmart to get some tortillas and some breakfast stuff. And on my way home, I saw a man going through the dumpster, a food dumpster across the street from me. And I thought I was going to have an aha moment, because there's been a really bad problem with people dumping their house trash in dumpsters. You know, my work, they do it to my work to where we can't throw away our stuff. And I was going to be like, aha. But then I saw him eat food from the dumpster to his mouth. So I went over there, got out of my car and I went over there, and he was like really like nervous. And I was like, hey man, you don't have to do that. Look, I want you to do me a favor. Follow me over to McDonald's, and let's go in and I'll get you some food. So I did. I went over to McDonald's, went to the little self-help kiosk, and you know, I said, I'll give you $20. Get whatever you can for $20. And he didn't go over the limit, so respect for that. Some people will take advantage, be like, well, I want this, this. He got food for, I guess, he didn't really say much about who he was or what he was doing, where he was coming from, whatever. He just got, I assume he got food for family. So I didn't offer him any money. He didn't ask me for any money. He just said thank you. And I said, look, I've been there. I know it. You don't have to thank me. Thank the universe. Pay it forward. As I was saying all that, my cat jumped up on the table, my desk. He almost ate shit too. Did you forget how to be a cat? Ugh. That's why I don't know if you guys could tell. Jay has a spiked collar. Little punk rock kitty. You have anything to say? Daddy stink? Like old dirty punk? Ugh. Okay. I had an idea years ago. Well, I want to say about a year ago, because I came back to Twitch about a year ago. In August will be a year, that I want to do punk rock record night. And someone had told me, like, you know, you'll get struck by copyright. And I'm like, well, these are all bands that are all obscure and shit. And they're like, nope. I said, what about Excruciating Terror? Yep, you'll get copyright for that. What about Rudimentary Peanut? You'll get copyright for that. What about Choking victim, big time copyright for that. I said, what about leftover crack? What about no cash? What about star fucking hipsters? Nope, it's all fucking copyright now. So my idea of having like punk rock record night kind of went out the window. I wish there was a way I could do it and not get struck. I don't want to get in trouble. You know, this account that I'm on right now has been in good standing for like 15 years. I wasn't trying to do it. It's just, you know, I just put videos out and just kind of forgot about them until recently. Could we find 4 more? Is there 4 more that we could find? 4 more. Okay, it looks like we're going into the, what, seed spreader? Plant spreader. Oh yeah, let's make rods. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Need 4 more. 4 more. Is that right? Yes. So I started on Twitch. I got my account because I was watching a guy named Virus610. Virus610 doesn't exist anymore. She changed her name. But I was watching this dude dressed up like a pirate. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy dressed like a pirate? I want to troll him so bad. So I couldn't troll him because I was watching on Xbox and typing with my phone. Or my tablet, I think, at the time. So I said you had to create an account. And I'm like, oh shit. So I started to troll the guy. But I ended up like really liking him. Like, he was a really cool dude. And every time I came into his stream, he was like, hey, Crust Smoke, what's going on? Like he, you know, like I try to be. Animal? Could we maybe make an animal spreader? So then, like, I love Super Mario. Where's my mouse? There it is. I love Super Mario World. So I started speedrunning Super Mario World. And I really like that game. It's fun. I got pretty good at it. Nobody knew who I was. And then when I went to go live, I never had the money to get a computer to go live, ever. And I was always running off, like, hand-me-down hardware. And I bought a laptop for my girlfriend at the time. And, you know, some stuff happened and she ended up moving out. I bought a laptop for Christmas. She ended up moving out before Christmas, and I didn't give her the laptop because I was salty and upset. And one day I'm laying on the couch by myself. I do not want... Let's see. Let's use all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. And I was watching Games Done Quick, and I was like, I had that, like, wait a minute. I need 4 gigs of RAM to run OBS. And I got that, I dug out the laptop out of the closet, and sure enough, it had 4 gigabytes of RAM. That laptop's back there. I don't know if it's visible. No, it's not. A couple streams back, I was able to see it in the corner. And then I photoshopped a background, and I walked to the store. Or no, I photoshopped a background and set up my webcam and all that. And sure enough, I went live, and it said I was live, and I said hello, and I looked at my other computer and I waited, and like 20 seconds later I heard hello, hello. And I was like, oh! And I took off, and I ran to the store and got some 240s. And my very first stream, the very first follower I had that day was MJ. Epic Fail LE. Twitch.tv/Epic Fail LE. What in the fuck? It's... Can y'all see that? Like, one hair is like getting stuck to it. Anyway. And that's how me and MJ became friends. But yeah, my very first stream was me saying hello, hello, and then like an hour later I came back and I started just running glitches in Super Mario World. And people were like, whoa, who is this guy? I was not as good as the speedrunners. Like, when I got my PB, it put me at 52 in the world. And since then, I've been knocked back to like 205 or something like that. Because, you know, speedrunning comes down to milliseconds. But at the time, I was in the top 100 in the whole world. I was like two past 50. I almost could have said I was in the top 50 in the whole world. But that's how I started. And then I started playing Lego games and shit like that. I would do dumb shit. I'd drink on stream. I passed out on stream once or twice, I think. You know, have full breakdowns, like crying and like, my life sucks. And like, yeah. There's actually a video of me downing a fifth of Sailor Jerry. Two drinks. Not proud of it. By any means. Hell no. Okay, let's look at our terraformation now. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so oxygen. Let's see if we can make some more of those. And if I remember correctly, because it doesn't say oxygen spreader. It's... Which one is it? This one? This one. Oh, it is. Oh, seed spreader rocket. Okay, but it says oxygen multiplier 1000. So let's do this one. Yes, let's make as many of these as we can and put those up in the air. Okay, so... Oh, we need to make some of these. That's the whole point of those first batches of rockets. We need to ask Humble for some super alloy. So right now, since I didn't tell anybody that I was live on Twitch, there's nobody watching me. Matter of fact, I don't even have my bot up. I don't even have my bot running. Yeah, okay. That I could always see when my bot's running. I could see it, people are there lurking. And I never call anybody out if they're lurking. There, it should pop up now. At the same time, I'm uploading episode 20, 21, and 22. This here will be 23. And that'll take me all the way to Friday. 8 a.m. They're scheduled Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. What am I missing? Did I mess up on the uranium? I probably only did 3 sleeves. Okay. Okay. I do have a viewer. But, Resident Lurker, I apologize. This is going to be, there it was again. Which one is it? There's like one beard hair that gets stuck on the mic. Alright. Wow, I got my numbers all off on that one. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. We have a goal. We have a goal. Super, oh. Alright, we might have to wait a minute on this. As a matter of fact, oh wait, do you have super alloy? No. You have Larma and that, okay. That's okay. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to get off of here in just a minute. I think what I'll do, wait for this guy to come back, and we'll make those last 6 rockets and send them off, and then we'll call it quits. Cool. Now we can make more rockets after that. As a matter of fact, why don't we do that while we're waiting? Okay. Oh, I don't have super alloy. Never mind. I guess we'll just hang out. Ugh. What do we need to make silkworms? Uncommon. Bacteria sample and fertilizer. So does anybody have an arch nemesis, but the arch nemesis doesn't know that they are your arch nemesis? Example, there's a guy who works right down the street from me. He drives a big Ford F-250, but it's a newer one, so it has that light that, like, in his grill, like his headlights, it's connected by one like LED strip, and for whatever reason that bothers me so much, and every time I see him I flick my brights at him. He's my arch nemesis, even in the daytime. Anybody have an arch nemesis like this? It's don't get me wrong, it's childish as fuck, but like, it's just funny. Not hurting anybody, you know. It's like one of those pranks. Like, okay. When I'm at work, I work in like a less savory neighborhood, and there's people walking and doing nefarious shit all the time. And like, if I'm working on a car and I'll see someone, I'll be like, "Hey, yo!" and then like look back at what I'm doing, and like, I got one of my coworkers in on it, so I'm like, "Did he look?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, he dropped his backpack." Or like, another time I did it, and the dude like stopped and like looked up on the roof, like he was looking on the roof, like he heard it, like it was coming from the roof. It's just, it's harmless, but it's entertaining to me. It's so harmless. Now, if I were doing it and someone crashed their car, I would feel really bad. But it's not like that. It's people walking. There's always people walking in where I work. The neighborhood over there. Matter of fact, I was doing something at the computer like a week before last, and there's an alley. My window looks into an alley, and I could see someone's back door where they take their trash out. And I hey-yo'd some dude like 3 times, and I got him every time. He would look every single time, and it was funny. But he didn't know to look up. Because I'm on the 2nd floor. He didn't know to look up. kept like looking around the corner. He like left the stairs and like went to the street, like looking to see who it was. It was pretty funny. There's a group of there's a school near me, and they're obviously not allowed to smoke on the property, so they come over here and they smoke in the alleyway, and I can see exactly where they sit, like right there. And Jay sits in the window, and I'll like go meow like really loud, and they'll look up at him, and he'll just be sitting there staring at him. It's dumb. At least I'm not drinking, peeing on things, you know? I don't know what else to do in this time. That looks like a flying tooth, almost. 19 seconds. So there's a band called 7 Seconds. And they do a cover of 99 Red Balloons. And one time they played at the skate park in my hometown. There it is. And it was in the middle of the giant half pipe. And I was up at the top. And I brought a sign, just like, you know, people bring signs to wrestling. And it said 99 Red Balloons. And they're like, oh, we're 7 Seconds. Thank you for coming out. And as the dude said that, he like looked up, saw my sign, and he started singing it. And then the band started playing it, and I was so stoked. It's 2 songs that like. Why are drones on here? That's weird. Okay, anyway. Okay, let's go do the thing that we were gonna do. There's 2 songs that get me. If I'm in a mood, these 2 songs get me every time. It's 99 Red Balloons and Ruby Soho. Every time I've ever left. Because, you know, you're in a punk rock world, sometimes you just have to leave. You don't want to leave, but you have to. I always listen to Ruby Soho as I'm leaving. Every time. Is that one? Yes. How many clicks is that? 1, 2, 3. Alright, that's that. So now, hydration. Your mother's hydrated. I'm not hydrated. That's why I'm seeing artesians in video games. My dad used to say that, like the shadow people, you know, like when you're watching the TV and you see shadow, you look and it's not there. Yeah, everybody does it. He called them artesians. Okay, terraformation stage. Terraformation is complete. Wow, we only needed 10 TTI. We only needed 5 TTI, and we got to 10.45 TTI in the matter of an hour. Wow, y'all. Alright, that's going to be it for today's episode. Mission accomplished. I was trying to do this yesterday, but I started feeling sick and had to lay down. Okay? That's it for today's episode. I appreciate everybody for coming out. Comment 42 down below. Let me know you made it this far in the video. Tell me what you think. See you guys next time. Bye.